Hey everybody, this is Chase Petiche. I'm here with a Witchy Bitch weekly message. And this week I want to talk about narcissism. I want to talk about what is a narcissist, and I also want to talk about our own role that we play in the narcissist relationship, okay? Because what I've been seeing a lot of in our current, media really is a lot of commentary on narcissism. And I want to add my own 2 cents of what I've been receiving from spirit. So, what I see and what I feel is that narcissism is really, it's really patriarchal patterning. So I always break things down to kind of the elemental energies of masculine and feminine, not just men and women, right? We all have masculine and feminine. We all have yin and yang, active, passive, giving, receiving, right? And what I see that narcissism is in our culture is really this it's part of the energy of the masculine energy of constantly putting oneself out there, needing to be seen, action, attention, and the feminine energy of receptivity, vulnerability, sensitivity is kind of diminished, and it serves the masculine energy of the narcissist, right? So anybody can be a narcissist, male or female. We all have narcissistic parts of us. You know, narcissism and narcissist it's connected to the Greek myth about Narcissus, who was so attached to his reflection, so obsessed with his own reflection that he actually died of dehydration because he couldn't move because he was so obsessed with his own face. And he saw it in a river, and he couldn't step away. And what I think this really speaks to is the hollowness. It's all about the exterior. It's all about the external, right? And it's really about the ego. And so much of the American paradigm and the masculine, the patriarchal paradigm is so much built on ego and the mind and rationality and control. And we've been missing these elemental energies, these internal, intuitive, sensitive, empathic energies. And so the masculine energies, the feminine energies have been serving the masculine energies. And what I believe is narcissistic energy is really this masculine patterning that is been apparent throughout, or ubiquitous throughout all cultures worldwide. And that is, so the thing that I really believe about, the thing that I kind of came to the realization of narcissists is, and as an empath, I've had a lot of narcissists in my life because I feel what other people feel. And there is a general undercurrent with narcissists that I think empaths feel that is a wounding and a suffering. And the thing that narcissists require most are attention. And the thing that really bothers me, so the thing that is the most sacred gift that I believe anyone can give anybody in their life is their attention, because what you're giving is your own light of consciousness. You're giving your energy. Attention is energy. And so when whatever you're placing your attention, your consciousness on, you are giving them your energy. And so, the thing that I've realized with narcissism is that, and this narrative is that this patriarchal patterning, because a lot of women are talking about narcissists as men being narcissists. There's a whole book that Christiane Northrup wrote called Dodging Energy Vampires, which really was about men. And I was just watching Jada Pinkett Smith's, or I saw a clip of it, of her Red Table Talk. And this woman was on there talking about narcissists, and it's this pointing the finger, these people, and in Christiane Northrup's book, she's like, these people. And I just, nothing is ever, we're not separate. The more we create a duality and a finger pointing, we are creating more war, more decisiveness, more separation. And it's really up to us. It's really up to the person who is giving the energy. This is shadow work, beginning to take on your own identity and energy, and starting to reconcile what you are actually giving to this person, because it takes two to tango. And if you take away the energy that you are giving the thing, then that thing no longer has power. So let's think about the ultimate narcissist that we can all think about right now, Donald Trump, right? Absolute narcissist, right? It's like it's in the White House, but it's patriarchal patterning, right? So Donald Trump doesn't care what kind of attention he gets. He just wants attention. And because the world thinks that people are shocked still, everybody's still giving, even through hate, right? The hate is still attention, and it's giving him the light of our consciousness, the focus, the energy, and it's increasing his power. So the true way of really letting go of a narcissist's power is really stopping the attention. So that doesn't mean that these people have to be completely cut out of your life. It just means that you're starting to take responsibility for how much attention you actually give them. And what I really think is that, you know, our culture is it's such a culture of hierarchy, and that means and winning, right? And one person being at the top, which ultimately means that there's always somebody that's going to be better. There's always somebody that's going to be shamed, guilty, because they're going to be put down, because the best is, there's only room for one at the top. And, you know, the undercurrent of our culture, like Donald Trump, his brother died of alcoholism because Donald Trump's father was so abusive and did the same thing to him. And so what happens is that these people, they experience including empaths, all people on this planet under this patriarchal world culture that is in the midst of disintegrating. We all are born and we are all wounded by this patterning because we're never enough. We are never enough under this paradigm. And there's two ways that people can deal with this. They can internalize it and feel like shit, feel depressed, feel like worthless, which is kind of how I felt for many years. Or they can internalize it, become numb, and choose to make themselves believe that they're superior. Because I've known a lot of women and men that are narcissists. And what I've found is the common thread is there's this incredible amount of wounding that the person keeps themselves blocked off, and that they are lacking. The fundamental thing that they are lacking is a receptive energy, because this is what I have found mostly with narcissists or anybody. I actually would like to reframe this word, and it's really just an imbalance of masculine and feminine energies of receptivity. It's a lack of receptivity is really what it is. And what I have found is that, and this has been the thing that has been so hurtful to me as an empath, and you can probably relate if you're watching this, is when I have gotten close to these people that were so-called narcissists, what happens is I feel like I become close to them, and then when it's time, I listen to them, I empathize with them, I give them the light of my consciousness, my attention, and then when it's time for me to share my personal pain, my struggle, my story, they don't really give me much attention or time. They are numb. And what that is it's a lack of receptivity. Because when you're really taking someone in and you're vibing with them and you're opening up to them and you're listening to them and you're in a receptive state, and a receptive state in our culture has been seen as being weak. That's what we've all been trained to believe, that being receptive is seen as being weak because you are sensitive, you are vulnerable, and that you should always remain on guard, numb, and dominant. And narcissism is a constant state of being dominant. And so I've realized that it's the give and the take. The relationships that are the healthiest for me in my life are when I feel truly seen and heard. And those are the people that expose themselves to me and their deepest pain and are there for me when I subsequently need to share my own and give me the time, the space, the energy to process it all. And the thing that I have found with narcissism and people who have an overabundance of masculine energy and not enough receptivity is that they are not able to be receptive to me. They're not able to take me in. And so what happens, and this is when our own consciousness actually begins to realize this, and this has been my biggest aha moment, one of the biggest aha moments of my life, is when actually starting to realize this, because I've had some experiences with some good friends that, you know, that ended up, I felt like treating me just like I was there to serve them. And it was incredibly hurtful. And then I realized, you know, I need to take responsibility. It was like this victim narrative that women and men who have an overabundance of receptive energy, who are prone to people who have an overabundance of masculine energy, can feel, which is this really feeling like a victim, like nobody's seeing you, nobody's honoring you, and it's triggering that deep wound of never being enough. And so instead of constantly pointing the finger, we're going to take the finger and put it back onto ourselves, okay? We're going to dismantle the propensity of othering, as Toko Pa Turner says, okay? Which is ultimately doing shadow work on ourselves and saying, how am I responsible for this relationship? So as I've started to really do that with myself, I've realized it's up to me whether or not I give these people attention. And, you know, there is a deep internal dialogue, of course, that happens when you decide that you're not going to give that light of consciousness, because you're not getting what you are giving, which leads to a constant depleted state of over giving. Because what I have found with people who are narcissists is that they'll give me some, and then so I'll feel satiated, and then for a minute, and then so I'll think that I can kind of be myself and share, and then they're not there for that, and then they want more. And so it's this constant like, I never quite catch up, and I never quite feel like I'm enough. And finally, you know, I kind of have hit a point in my life where I'm like, it's really about my own consciousness and how much attention I choose to give. That it's taking responsibility, because it takes two to tango, okay? We are not victims. We are not, no one else is running no one and no thing has power over us. We are sovereign, okay? And we do not have to engage with people that do not give us the time and energy, true attention. And ask yourself what that means. What does attention mean? True attention. For me, it really means someone is taking me in, absorbing what I'm saying, and contemplating it. Really, really contemplating it, taking it in, sitting with it, and then from that space, reflecting. Not dominating, telling me what I should do, offering suggestions, offering insight, telling their own personal stories of situations that were similar. You know, there's a level of sharing, a level of vulnerability that I personally need when engaging with good friends. And if I'm not going to get that back, and I'm just constantly giving, the relationship doesn't work for me. So, you know, and I wanted to also just, you know, why is this energy coming out now? Because you hear a lot about people talking about narcissists. It's like a whole big thing now. Everybody's talking about narcissists. Everybody's a narcissist, right? Well, it's coming out because it's a type of patterning that has ruled our world. And it's really the feminine energies of the world serving masculine energy. It's the feminine energies not feeling worthy, not feeling good enough, and giving their attention, their utmost attention, to the masculine energies of the world. A lot of that is men and women, but it can be reversed, and it can be in different ways. And the masculine energy, the overabundance of the masculine energy is just, it enhances. And the thing is that it's all about the exterior. It's all about the attention, because that enhances. And what I think is truly what the truth, this is the deepest truth with all of this, and what I've realized is that this relationship with the overly narcissistic and overly empathic kind of joining together is that both people who are engaged in this relationship are both avoiding their own spiritual work that they need to do on themselves. So the narcissist is taking the attention, this external attention, so that they don't actually have to do deeper self-reflection, because they have somebody there who's doing the energetic work for them. And then the empath is putting all of their consciousness onto the narcissist so that they themselves don't have to deal with their own levels of unworthiness. And what's really interesting is that the energy behind both of them is actually unworthiness. And it's just a toxic kind of patterning that serves the other that's really imbalanced. And so to truly become more integrated, integral, be in our integrity, we must begin to balance these energies within ourselves. Which means that if you're watching this and you have narcissistic tendencies, begin to ask yourself how maybe you can become more receptive to people, which means taking them in, becoming more vulnerable, absorbing their energy. Equally, if you are overly empathic and you seem to be in relationships with people who are more narcissistic, ask yourself how you can detach a little bit and think about where you put your own light of consciousness onto them, and how you can begin to take that light of consciousness and bring it back into the self to see what it is within ourselves truly needs to be worked on. So this is these are my thoughts about narcissism. It's my own journey that I've gone on as an empath, and I've thought a lot about it, and I've had some experiences lately that have really made me think about it a lot. And this is all coming out now because it has to, because the feminine energy of the world is starting to emerge. And so the things that have been out of balance are coming to light. This was never even something that was in the light before. But instead of, we're not trying to create matriarchy. I'm not trying to replace patriarchy with matriarchy. What I'm trying to do is create a collective, integrated consciousness where humans are not competing, but we see ourselves in the other. And this means beginning to take responsibility for our own energy and not pointing the finger, saying this person, this thing, this, I am the victim, you've done this to me. It's saying, where in my life do I need to do deeper energetic work on myself to balance, rebalance, and recalibrate my own internal and masculine and feminine energies? So that's something you can ask yourself. If you have any questions, please email me, info@chasepetiche.com. And if you want to work further on this with me, I'm happy to do so. And so much love to you all, and all in the name of healing and love and the rise of the divine feminine. So much love to you.